video we're going to talk a little bit about how to take transfer paper and turn it into a business, into a money generating scheme at home or in an office using a heat press and everything else which we've been talking about in the other videos: inkjet transfer paper, domestic inkjet printers, simple software to generate images. So we're taking a transfer paper, an inkjet transfer paper. Here's a printed one. It's the same as the one that you use when you use a domestic iron. Of course you can't use a domestic iron when you're running it as a business, if you're using it to make money, because you'll be doing loads of prints in one go. An iron takes a long time. With a heat press we can do it in seconds. Just a very short talk about the heat press. We've borrowed one from a client of ours. We're in his premises, and it's a working bench for printing t-shirts. We're using a very simple, quite an old clamp press, so it just goes up and down like a crocodile's mouth. All heat presses have very similar elements to them. We have a hot plate which we've set to 190 degrees, and all heat presses have this soft rubber pad onto which the t-shirt goes, and a pressure adjuster. So a cost of these ranges from a couple of £100 for a second-hand one to this is a small one, a square platen. You're probably looking at between £400 and £500, maybe even a little bit less depending on which model you go for. It doesn't really matter as long as the heat plate can reach the required temperature, which is an actual 180 degrees. We've set it to 190 so that we're guaranteed the temperature that we need. So you can see it takes a really small place. You don't need much more than a little table. You can do it on a kitchen table. It's not particularly heavy, so it can be moved from the kitchen or from your office to storage and then brought out again if you when you need to use it. The way it works, really simple. We take a t-shirt, we're going to print the front of it, so we position it in the right place on the plate. I take care to make sure that the collar is right off the plate, because that will reduce the actual pressure from the area which you're printing. Good practice is to give it a little press to flatten it out. We've taken a transfer which we've pre-trimmed. We've taken away all the excess white areas from around it, leaving a 3 to 4 millimeter white edge. This is just good practice to make sure that we don't have unnecessary bits of transfer that we're transferring onto a shirt. Position it face down. This is a light transfer paper for inkjet printers. Normally, if you were doing it with a domestic iron, you'll be working away for a minute and a half or so. With this heat press set at 190 degrees, we're going to go 13 seconds. This press actually has a timer. Most presses will have a timer. In fact, all of them will have a timer. This one doesn't work, so I'll count it to 13. And here's a final printed shirt. Now, a lot of people ask us about silicone paper. You will notice when you buy this transfer paper, you will have some silicone paper in the pack. Silicone paper is really essential when you're using a domestic iron, because once you peel it, you will reposition the silicone paper on the exposed image and repress it with an iron, just to make sure, in case you've made a mistake, that any errors are corrected and it gives the image a softer feel. It's not essential when using a heat press, but I like to use it anyway. So we take silicone paper. These are reusable. You get quite a few of them in every pack of paper. Position it on the exposed image and just literally a 3-second repress. Peel it away, stretch it a little bit, and there's the final article. Done. Silicone paper, incidentally, also, and again, this becomes a bit more of a business application. If these are promotional shirts for an exhibition, for example, and you want to print the back of it, you can protect the exposed image just by sticking the silicone paper down onto it, and then you can see it can be removed at any time. And now if I want to print the back of the shirt, say you've got an exhibition, you want some promotional shirts, and I've just made a really simple bit of graphic to go on the back. Again, we're always trimming the excess white areas. Always good practice. The more you can remove, the better the result. You don't need to be really pedantic about it. But the more you remove, the softer the final result will be. So really roughly just cut around the image. This is going on the back of the shirt. Same process. Face down. 13 seconds. Okay, and we disengage the press. Again, no huge rush. Little stretch to pick up the transfer and peel it away. And just a reminder, because everybody asks, here's the original print. And you'll notice that it's in mirror image. When you're printing light t-shirts, everything has to be mirrored, because when you put it down, face down on onto the garment, the mirrored text becomes the right way around. Remember the silicone paper we put on this side? Comes off anytime. And when you use the heat press also, you get a slightly softer feel, and the images will stretch without cracking much. Will be very, very long living on the shirt. This can be washed time and time again, and it becomes a commercial product. So we've showed you how to take a relatively low-tech, not very expensive piece of equipment, a clamp press in this case, with a hot plate on top, a rubber at the bottom, temperature gauge. You can take your ordinary inkjet printer with inkjet transfer paper. This works both for light and for darker garments. We've showed you the light, but we have dark transfer paper as well, and the process is near identical. And overnight you can create a money generating scheme. You can sell these images on eBay. You can provide a service on eBay or on Amazon or on social media for t-shirt printing services, hen nights, exhibitions, people that need personalized one-off shirts. Do it mail order, generate money. A shirt like that, one-off, can sell for £10.